You're watching the best. Fox 10 News at 10 starts now.
Tonight at 10, a new border wall is going up in our state. What we know about the $300 million contract. Plus, the Valley Gym goes up in flames today, and investigators call it arson. And the new way to battle HIV. We look at a new drug just approved by the FDA. But first, a news alert tonight, an update on a case we've been following all week long, an arrest in Missouri after a couple is killed in northern Arizona. Kinsey Beach joins us live with the details tonight. Kinsey.
Yeah, well, Brian, it was a nationwide search that led authorities to the man responsible for killing 2 Arizona Rangers. They say it's 23-year-old Francis Alcantar Chavez. He's the son of one of the Rangers, and he was found in Missouri. It was all a welfare check on Father's Day that led authorities to the 2 Arizona Rangers, Troy Templeton and Lieutenant Cynthia Templeton. The couple was found shot to death inside their home, their front door left wide open. And almost immediately, investigators had a person of interest, Cynthia's 23-year-old son, Francis Chavez. A nationwide stop and hold was issued for Francis and his vehicle, who was tracked down in Missouri. Missouri State Highway Patrol says that Chavez was on the run on a motorcycle. He was then crashed into a state trooper and took off on foot on Tuesday.
The Missouri State Police troopers located the vehicle and engaged in a pursuit. Francis's vehicle eventually ran into a trooper's patrol vehicle. Troopers gave chase on foot, at which time Francis, armed with a handgun, shot at one of the troopers, striking him in the bullet-resistant vest. Troopers returned fire, striking Francis. Francis Alcantar Chavez was pronounced dead at the scene.
Now, I was able to speak with the family after this news broke. They tell me from the beginning they feared that Francis could be responsible. They tried to contact him Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to get a hold of him and let him know of his mother's passing. But when they couldn't reach him, they let authorities know. And that's when they tracked him down and found out that he was responsible. That state trooper in Missouri is expected to make a full recovery. Reporting live tonight, Kinsey Beach, Fox 10 News.
Sad all the way around. Kinsey, thank you very much. North Dakota company wins a $300 million contract to build a border wall in Arizona, 27 miles of it in Santa Cruz County. Fisher Sand and Gravel Company won the contract for the Tucson sector, well known for illegal crossings there. Homeland Security is waiving environmental protections, including the National Environmental Policy Act, to make way for construction. Several valley trails are closed during this heat wave, a way to protect hikers and rescue crews. And that's one reason why a popular sign is circulating again on social media. Lindsay Regas joins me with more tonight. Lindsay.
Hey, Brian, yeah, this sign says it all. Stop hiking in the heat, especially if you aren't prepared. Now, this Phoenix fire captain is getting the message out once again, especially when there is an excessive heat warning. There is a purpose for this viral sign.
I could probably say on average I've gone maybe once a week to a rescue on the mountain. Captain
Adam Skyver with the Phoenix Fire Department is all too familiar with rescues on Camelback and Piestewa during the summer months. His station, Station 12, is the first responding technical rescue to both mountains.
Every year we do so many rescues and we send people to the hospital and people die in the mountains, and we really just want to say, hey, you need to be operating in a safe way, right? We have all these beautiful resources around us and they're super cool. We're excited for you to use them, but you have to be safe about it. And so really just capturing people's attention to bring awareness to that and hopefully kind of weed out some of those people that really aren't prepared and don't understand the heat and the topography.
The way hikers can be prepared, Captain Skyver says, dress for the heat, bring more water than you think you'll need, and plan ahead. Josiah Sanchez is no stranger to hiking in the heat, hiking Piestewa 5 times a week on average.
Preparation is really, really important on these hikes. So I make sure to eat plenty of calories so that I have enough energy to go on the hike. But then also I'm usually drinking 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon of water before I even start. And that includes electrolytes. And then I have some extra stuff in my car for after the hike.
Like Sanchez, Eric Verdenhill also waited until after 5 p.m. to take a hike.
Something I didn't want to pass up, and it's cooler now than it was earlier today.
Both say they are hydrated and ready to take on the popular hiking trails in the heat.
I always have a water bottle that is matching my outfit. So I have 32 ounces with me at all times, and then I keep a gallon of water in my car for when I get back.
A lot of water and a lot of Gatorade today, yeah.
All right, it's a tip we've mentioned before. Once you are halfway done with your water, that's when you know it's time to turn around. In studio tonight, Lindsay Regas, Fox 10 News.
All right, brave souls out there tonight. Thank you, Lindsay. A hot night in the city. Still, here's a live look at downtown at Phoenix tonight. And Ashley Loeza has an early look at the heat wave and red flag warnings coming across the state.
Well, we have a couple of new fire weather alerts in place beginning tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. All those areas highlighted, and Dan, you can see we're under a fire weather watch. This beginning for tomorrow, Friday morning through Saturday afternoon. So this is for much of our northern areas, Flagstaff included, northwestern Arizona towards Nevada. We have this red flag warning that's set to expire tomorrow, Friday, but nonetheless, we're still going to continue to feel the heat. And on top of that, dry conditions and pretty gusty winds are going to elevate our fire risk. Here is a map I want to show you for tomorrow, Thursday. We're seeing that elevated fire risk really for all those areas that we saw, whether it be for that fire watch or that red flag warning. So very high fire danger. Please don't do anything that could spark a fire, because right now Mother Nature is sparking up and picking up those winds. For tomorrow, Flagstaff, take a look at that, picking up and peaking for your afternoon forecast. We're looking at close to 30-mile-per-hour winds on top of that fire weather watch that we have here in the Valley, Phoenix metro area. A little bit breezy as well for tomorrow, but with our next weather system moving in this weekend, winds will pick up even more. But are those temperatures picking up? Well, stick around. Corey has your full forecast.
A middle school gym goes up in flames in the Gila River Indian community. Investigators call it suspicious. It happened Monday morning. Police say the old Skyline Middle School gym and an adjacent building were set on fire. This is what is left of the building. Not much, if anything at all. If you happen to know anything, call the Gila River Police Department. A Cochise County woman dealing with mental health issues sets a house on fire. It happened today near Douglas. Firefighters found the home engulfed in flames, and the 55-year-old woman went to the hospital with minor injuries and later admitted to the crime. Several dogs died in the fire. The rest were taken to a local shelter.
The FDA approves the world's only twice-a-year injectable drug that could prevent HIV infections. I'm Christina Coleman with more on this story coming up.
Plus, fading hopes of stopping global warming, details on a new report on the state of our planet. And later, how did a man follow his death in a valley canal? What police are telling us about it tonight after the break.
Mornings are fun. On Wednesdays, we wear pink, and Ron, we did not want you to feel left out.
Let's see how that works.
Too. There you go. Mornings are about coming together. Welcome back to Desiree.
Thank you. They grow so fast.
Like a weed, right?
Yeah. The baby phase would just go so quickly.
Mornings are sensational. She looks like she's ready to take a biplane into the sky or something.
Come on in, buddy.
All right, we're going.
We'll see you soon.
You never know what's going to happen on AZAM.
Weekdays, 4:30 to 10 a.m.
Fox 10 News is back.
A big win in the fight against HIV. The FDA approves a new twice-a-year shot to prevent infections in adults and adolescents. Christina Coleman has the details.
It's being called a game changer in the fight against HIV, an injectable drug that's been found to be nearly 100% effective in preventing HIV during 2 groundbreaking clinical trials.
Lenacapavir is important to me because it allows me to only have to go to the doctor twice, and I feel fully protected from getting HIV.
The FDA approved it for regular use this week.
We don't have a vaccine yet, but this is getting pretty close to very good protection and prevention against HIV.
Unlike daily preventable pills that many can forget to take, lenacapavir is a twice-a-year shot. It's injected under the skin of the abdomen, leaving behind a small dose of medication that's slowly absorbed into the body over time. According to its drug maker, each dose offers users 6 months of protection, the longest-lasting option when it comes to PrEP or preventative HIV medicines.
Today, most HIV cases are amongst gay men, and amongst gay men, it's Black and Latino gay men. Unfortunately, we're seeing the PrEP uptake very low in those communities.
Experts say there are more than 30,000 new HIV infections in the U.S. each year. Many hope this new option will help curb that number, but there is concern cuts to federal funding for HIV prevention efforts will derail those plans.
It is You know, it's just inhumane to not provide this to the people that need it.
This drug is already sold to treat HIV. This new option is focused on prevention and will be sold under a different brand name. In Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox 10 News.
A teacher is facing sex exploitation charges in Texas, but may have victims in Arizona. 36-year-old Carlos Lechuago was arrested in December and charged with producing sexual videos involving minors that were distributed on the dark web. Investigators say he was a professor in Texas, but also a private music teacher in Phoenix. If you know anything, call the FBI at the number on your screen. Israel is warning people to evacuate if they live near Iran's heavy water reactor. It comes as the U.S. is sending additional assets to the Middle East. Flight Tracker shows 12 F-22 Raptors leaving Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, heading toward the U.K. And the Navy's Fifth Fleet moved nearly all of its vessels out to sea in case of an attack. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was asked about the Pentagon's plans.
Question for you is whether you have been asked actively to provide options for the president regarding a strike in the Middle East.
If I had or I had not, I wouldn't disclose that in this forum.
Experts believe the U.S. wasn't quite ready to launch an airstrike on Iran, but could be in the coming days, and Americans are being evacuated from Israel tonight. The White House grounds have 2 new flag poles tonight. This is President Trump watching one flag being raised. Part of the renovation plans at the White House. One pole is on the north lawn, the other on the south. Price tag about $100,000. The president plans to pave over grass in the Rose Garden as well, calling it an inconvenience to women who wear high heels. Up next, should taxes pay for upgrades and repairs out of Chase Field? We show you what lawmakers are looking at tonight.
Fox 10 News.
State lawmakers are looking at a bill that would spend millions of dollars to renovate Chase Field. This is a battle that's been going back and forth for months. $500 million to the stadium, owned by Maricopa County. The original House Bill 2704 would divert tax money generated at the stadium to pay for the upgrades. But it has a few changes now, like putting a $500 million cap on public funds and fining the team $10 million if it leaves the state before 2035.
No, it's almost never a good deal to actually subsidize sports teams. It's a very consistent finding in economic research is that sports teams, if you're thinking of that as an economic development engine, they just are not.
Why would we want to lose such a huge focal point? Why would we want to lose the history that we grew with the Diamondbacks?
The state Senate is expected to vote on the measure tomorrow. If approved, it would go back to the House to try to get approval there. If that happens, it would go on to the governor's desk. A new study points out some scary statistics on climate change. It was just released today in the journal Earth System Science Data and shows humans are on track to release enough greenhouse gas over the next 3 years that it would be virtually impossible to keep the warming goal in check. This means a 50-50 chance of reaching the 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit limit set by the UN. And some scientists warn that that could mean drier droughts and hotter heat waves, along with bigger storms and rising sea levels that could destroy small island nations.
I think it shows a pretty harsh reality, right? You know, things aren't just getting worse, they're getting worse faster. We're actively moving in the wrong direction in a critical period of time that we would need to meet our most ambitious climate goals.
The level of gas accumulated is rising faster than the same group calculated just last year. Hurricane Eric doubles in strength in less than a day, and the early season storm is expected to make landfall in Mexico tomorrow. Could dump as much as 20 inches of rain there in some spots. It's the 5th Eastern Pacific storm so far, and we've only had 1 month into this Eastern Pacific hurricane system. Well, what will life be like in the year 2065? The Talker research shows most people expect a 4-day work week to be the norm. But billionaire Bill Gates, I guess, weighed in on this, and he thinks it'll only be 2 days a week. Most believe currency will be 100% digital, along with most homes having some form of robot housekeeper. Sign me up for that, Corey.
I like watching those robots walk. They look like their feet hurt. They shouldn't, but they do.
Mine feet hurt. You want to see what that looks like?
Yeah. Well, 2065. I'll be 105. I'll let you know. what life is like when we get there. It's a warm night for everybody. There's good news in your forecast, though, and I've got it in about 3 minutes.
Fox 10 weather experts with Corey, Crystal, Erica, and Ashley. All day on Mix 96.9, the best mix of the 90s to now.
Good evening, everybody, and here's your Wednesday night. It's warm out there. This is Flagstaff. Always great up Flagstaff way. 61 degrees is where we stand now, and it's been a pretty nice day all across northern Arizona. However, temperatures down here were pretty tough. Over the next few days, though, great news for the high country. 88 for tomorrow in Flagstaff. However, we jump off about 5 degrees by Friday, and look at your Saturday. Fantastic overnights in the 40s, and as that low that we've been talking about starts to creep closer to us from the Pacific Northwest, it's really going to be helping us out, not just in Flagstaff, but all over the place. Now, we're not going to drop ourselves down to anything very chilly, but certainly we'll be getting closer to normal, which for us would be great. About 105 is typical. Today, another tough one. 2 days in a row at 114 degrees. That's pretty rough. We're still at more than 100 out in Goodyear, although it's 91 just down the road in Buckeye, 94 in Surprise, 87 in Mesa. Good for you, Mesa. Well done. 100 at Lake Havasu City, 73 in Show Low, and 76 degrees in Sedona this evening, 62 over at Window Rock. And so, as you look across the west, here is what's going to be helping us out. This low has been swirling around the Gulf of Alaska. It continues a southward track, and as it moves in our direction, again, it's not going to make it all the way to Arizona. It'll brush past or brush through the Rockies, I should say, but as it does, it will be carrying with it some very nice temperatures, at least for us here in the deserts. It'll get us a little closer to our normal highs. Now, we remain under this extreme heat warning until Friday. I'm sorry to say it covers a big portion of the state, all of our desert spots, including the Grand Canyon, and then over into Mojave County, too. It just means be extra careful out there because it's going to be rough. And it will be windy tomorrow, gusts to about 20 here in the valley, in the mountains about 25 to 35. So again, watch out for the outdoor burning. This is the high that's causing all the trouble. We'll put it in motion for you. Here's tomorrow, and it's not going anyplace fast for tomorrow. However, by Saturday, we're going to start to see that low dip down. Again, it's going to continue to track kind of to the east once it makes its way into the U.S., but it's going to be close enough. It's going to push that high off into the Midwest, where they're going to be seeing some very warm weather as they push into the weekend. We will return to normal. By the way, there is Hurricane Eric. It's a big, big storm. Category 3. It's probably as big as it's going to get because soon it'll move on shore. You can see the eye is very close to the Mexican coast, but we do have hurricane warnings out from Acapulco, which is about here, all the way eastward toward the bend there before you get down to Guatemala. So this will come ashore again and quickly blow itself out. By Thursday, probably down to just an extra or subtropical low. However, folks in Texas are keeping an eye on this storm because it remains to be seen whether it will push back out into the Gulf of America and perhaps reform itself as a tropical event. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's a quick look at the rest of the nation. Thunderstorms have been racing across the country. They're now moving on into the East Coast, and it won't be long before, again, the cool air that follows will be replaced by the warm stuff we're seeing. And so they'll get a couple of temperate days in the middle of the country, but they're going to be warming up soon. So 78 for us tonight in Yuma, 64 in Prescott, the same up in Kayenta, about 60 degrees for Show Low, and here in the valley will drop you to 83. That should do it. Tomorrow, though, a tough one. Again, we'll see probably about 115. That's a pretty rough afternoon. And for the rest of the state tomorrow, it gets worse. Look at this. 114 for Bullhead City, 117 degrees for Gila Bend. Oh, my gosh. 115 in Casa Grande. And as I said, the good news comes as we get toward about Saturday and Sunday, when we'll try to get our temperatures back toward, as we say in St. Louis, normal. We don't know why they say normal instead of normal. It ain't normal, that's for sure. Richard?
Yeah, well, in Texas, we say y'all, so I get it. I'm not sure what they say in Toronto, but I know Corbett Carroll says, ouch, when he gets hit on the hand like this. Tough time in Toronto for the D-backs. We've got the lowlights coming up after the break.
You're watching Fox 10 Sports with Richard Sines.
Well, not the ideal way to start this road trip if you're the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? The D-backs had game one in Toronto. They had it in the bag, but closer Shelby Miller gave up not one, but 2 home runs in the bottom of the ninth. So, yeah, the Blue Jays beat the D-backs with a walk-off in game one. Ouch! Another gut punch of a loss for Torrey and the team. Tried to bounce back in game two, but the Blue Jays picked up where they left off. First bat of the game, Bo Bichette. Oh, boy, it's gone. Eduardo Rodriguez gives up a leadoff homer on the second pitch of the game. Wow, what a start for Toronto. 3-1 now in the sixth. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Yeah, this guy can hit. That's a base knock. Had a couple guys on base. Both of them coming to score. RBI double for 2 RBI double for Guerrero. And boy, the Blue Jays weren't done. Bichette with a swing and bunt. He's out at first, but the damage is done. Watch the replay. Ginkle doesn't check the runner. The runner stops and says, oh, if you're not even going to look my way, I'll go home. Easy run for the Blue Jays to make matters worse. Bad luck for Corbin Carroll and the D-backs. This has been a nightmare of a season when it comes to injuries. Oh, no, say it ain't so. Corbin gets hit on the hand. He's in major pain. You could hear him yell. Boy, that's the kind of year it's been for the D-backs. Good thing is the X-rays came back negative, but the D-backs lose the game. Final score, 8-1. The Mercury taking on the Connecticut Sun. Melissa Thomas played for the Sun, so the hometown fans were showing her some love, giving her flowers. She got emotional, but then she's like, well, I'm still going to try to beat you. Yeah, the game gets going. Watch her. She says, hey, guys, remember me? Left-handed layup right there. AT again, this time with the righty. Wow, that's impressive. Another bucket. Thomas doing it all, setting up the teammates to drive. The dish, big-time 3 by Lexi Held 14 points off the bench. Thomas, 14 points, 11 assists against her own team. Mercury win again. Final score, 83-75. This is cool to see. Ricky Pearsall, the former Corona del Sol and ASU track star, or ASU star, back in town. Ricky giving back, holding a youth football camp at his old high school. Great to see him giving back. And when you think of what he went through, getting shot in the chest while he was being robbed, it's just great to see Ricky alive and well. His mother talked about what Ricky and his family went through and how grateful they are that he's A-OK now.
Weighed heavy for sure. I mean, I don't think you could ever imagine it unless you've gone through that situation. It was, God had him in the palm of his hand, because if you knew the complete story of it, you would know that, there was no reason that it should have turned out the way it did, and the reason it did is because of the man upstairs, and we're so blessed to have him out here having fun and give him back to the community, and he loves interacting with the kids. So
that's pretty cool to see. All right, we do it again at 10. Much more on the MLB Draft Combine right here at Chase Field. What it was like for kids of all ages to take part in this special event. More on that coming up at 10:50.
You're watching the best. Fox 10 News at 10:30 starts now.
And now at 10:30, the Phoenix City Council votes down a petition tonight that would have kept police away from any operations involving immigration enforcement. The nonprofit Poder in Action petitioned the council to ensure that Phoenix police aren't helping with ICE investigations. Activists claim that agents were actually working with local law enforcement to target individuals inside jails, and that was brought up at tonight's meeting.
We know we're living under unprecedented times. How many times has the Phoenix Police Department collaborated with ICE?
Mayor, members of council, Councilwoman Guardado, we do not cooperate with ICE. We do not take part in any deportation efforts or roundups or whatever you want to call them they do. We do not participate in those.
City leaders had said that approving the petition would create conflicts of interest within state law. The city of Phoenix also pumps the brakes on bringing back speed and red light cameras for now. The city council was going to talk about it today, but decided to hold off. The cameras were taken down in 2019, and then the council approved a study last year over possibly bringing them back, but no decision has been made. New details tonight after a man falls to his death fishing in a canal. He's identified as 33-year-old Carl Blondin Jr. It happened today near 51st Avenue and Cactus. Police got a call about an injured person, but by the time officers arrived, it was too late. It's unclear why Blondin drowned, but police do not suspect foul play. A man arrested in Tucson is accused of planning to use fireworks to kill law enforcement. Federal prosecutors say Jigash Vandenberg bought the fireworks in New Mexico, but planned to use them on law enforcement at the protests in California. He allegedly told store employees he wanted to kill officers and even invited one employee to join him. Vandenberg is facing up to 10 years in prison. An exemption to allow electric vehicles in HOV lanes will soon expire, but Arizona Congressman Greg Stanton wants to extend it. He says the expiration will negatively impact thousands of Arizonans and that continuing the exemption will promote electric car manufacturing and alleviate congestion. The exemption is set to expire September 30th. A memorial in the West Valley tonight for millions of chickens killed by the bird flu. It was at Hickman's Family Farms in Buckeye. Last month, the facility euthanized 95% of its Arizona egg production due to the outbreak. But animal advocates blame poor safety standards and poor treatment at the farm and call it a tragedy. Hickman's gave us a statement writing in part, "No one can be more heartbroken than our family and our employees, especially those who we've had to lay off." Federal and state officials are overseeing the farm's operations now. The heat is on, impacting people and pets, and that's where a couple of Valley organizations come in, hoping to protect both. Irene Snyder has the story.
This time of year, heat relief kits are essential throughout the valley, especially for those experiencing homelessness. AZ Blue is working with the Arizona Pet Project to pack hundreds of first aid kits and heat relief kits for people living out on the streets, along with separate kits for their furry family members.
This makes a huge difference. I mean, our unsheltered population are under such duress during the summer, and so many of them dedicate the minimal resources they have toward their animals. So being able to provide these pet-related products to help protect the dogs during the summer, it's such a relief, not just for the animals, but for their owners as well.
The kits include things like water bowls, cooling jackets, paw balm, and booties.
With the heat in the summer months here, obviously that is a focus for everyone. But what's often overlooked are the animals out there. So we're putting together heat relief kits, but one of the kits is specifically to make sure that we're getting things to families who have dogs so that you can make sure they're hydrated and have all the things that they need to just deal with the summer months.
Their goal is to keep everyone safe, whether human or canine.
This makes a tremendous difference. We know and data shows that unhoused people with animals, their very first priority is their pets. Their pets are often the only meaningful connection they have. So they will do whatever it takes to make sure that they're happy, healthy, and safe.
Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
Interest rates hold steady for the fourth straight time, right around 4.3% since the last cut in December. That didn't help relations between President Trump and Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Inflation has cooled, but the Feds want to see how the Trump tariffs play out.
We believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments.
It's a shame. This guy, do you ever have a guy that's not a smart person and you're dealing with him and you have to deal? He's not a smart guy. He's worried about inflation.
Well, the Fed still expects 2 possible rate cuts later this year. The next meeting is at the end of July. The go-broke dates for Medicare and Social Security trust funds has moved up, according to an annual report released today. Social Security funds are expected to run dry in 2034, 1 year earlier than previously predicted. That means recipients would only get about 81% of their benefits. The report cites rising health care costs and legislation impacting Social Security benefits, both contributing factors. President Trump and other Republicans have vowed not to make any more cuts to those programs. Well, hey, you don't have to go far to visit a top shelf bar. The Highball Cocktail Bar in Phoenix just made the list for the top 100 bars in North America, ranked number 97, according to 50 Best Discovery. Highball was praised for its massive menu and speakeasy style lounge. You can find it at 7th Avenue and McDowell. Coming up, a suspect claims self-defense, but prosecutors call it murder, the latest on a roommate killing at a Valley group home. Plus, the Supreme Court makes a decision on gender transition treatments for minors. We have those details straight ahead.
The Scottsdale 4th of July celebration at Westworld. Food, fun, and the largest fireworks show in Scottsdale history. Watch AZAM for a chance to be red, white, and cool. Weekdays during the 8 a.m. hour, Ty and Celeste will announce a code word. Go to fox10phoenix.com/contest and enter the word for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets. You're watching the best Fox 10 News.
The man accused of murdering his roommate at a group home in Goodyear appears in court today. 45-year-old Glenn Peaches is facing first-degree murder charges for the stabbing death of 24-year-old Reno Cotto in April. He has previously spent 20 years in prison for manslaughter, Peaches has. He says they got into a fight after drinking, claimed he was defending himself, and pleaded not guilty. Fox 10 Investigates found that Peaches was placed into the unlicensed group home as a violent offender just weeks before the stabbing. The scene today outside a courtroom in Dedham, Massachusetts, supporters chanting "Free Karen Reed." She was acquitted in the death of her boyfriend, a Boston police officer. Connor Hansen has more tonight.
Is the defendant of our guilty or not guilty? Not guilty.
An emotional moment inside a Massachusetts courtroom as Karen Reed hugs her legal team. And outside, a crowd of people cheered.
I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team. No one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have.
Reed was accused of hitting her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, with her car and leaving him for dead in the cold. Her defense team and supporters accused corrupt investigators of framing Reed to cover up the true details of O'Keefe's death.
We've known the truth for years now, and we don't even know how this case has gone to trial.
While Karen Reed was found not guilty of murder and leaving the scene of a deadly accident, she was found guilty of driving drunk, receiving a sentence of 1 year on probation. The verdict comes almost 1 year after Reed's first trial ended with a hung jury. Not everyone was pleased with the outcome. A joint statement that included a witness who was with O'Keefe the night he died read, quote, "While we may have more to say in the future, today we mourn with John's family and lament the cruel reality that this prosecution was infected by lies and conspiracy theories spread by Karen Reed, her defense team, and some in the media." Reed still faces a civil lawsuit filed by John O'Keefe's family. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Now to the war in Ukraine. Russia launches a massive airstrike on the capital city of Kyiv. 28 people killed last night during an attack that included 500 drones and missiles. The EU says it will step up support for Ukraine, and one U.S. lawmaker warned Europeans they may have to start speaking Russian if they don't offer more support. Russia continues to claim it's ready for a ceasefire talks despite more attacks.
Putin said that we are ready to do what we can to facilitate. That was said directly to President Trump.
Europe is under attack, and our continent sits in a world becoming more dangerous.
Russia is expecting more reinforcements from North Korea. Thousands of military construction workers heading to the front lines. TikTok gets another break from President Trump. He extended the deadline to ban or sell the company for another 90 days. It's the third time he's pushed it back. It is now set for mid-September. A deal to buy the parent company ByteDance from China is on hold over trade tensions with that country. When we come back, Republicans want deeper cuts to Medicaid, but Democrats want to help more hospitals, and billions of dollars are on the line. Plus, 250,000 cars are being recalled tonight. Which ones and why when we return.
You're watching the best Fox 10 News.
Well, tax breaks or Medicaid cuts. It's the latest political showdown between Republicans and Democrats in Washington. Senate Republicans want Medicaid cuts to offset costs of President Trump's tax breaks. Today, Senate Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said doing that would only help America's billionaire donors, and he believes that health care is a right in this country.
If you were to cut Medicaid, things aren't going to get better. They're going to get worse. Children will be hurt. Everyday Americans will be hurt. People who rely on Medicaid with disabilities will be hurt.
Jeffries went on to call President Trump's spending bill the largest cut to health care in U.S. history. Major changes are coming to cereal in the coming years. General Mills says it's going to remove artificial colors from all of its cereal by 2027. Same for synthetic dyes and in food served in K through 12 schools by next summer. Kraft Heinz announced a similar move. The companies are bowing to pressure from the Trump administration. A landmark ruling today by the Supreme Court. It upheld a Tennessee law that bans gender-affirming care for minors. Rebecca Castor has the details.
It's a case that brought hundreds to the steps of the Supreme Court back in December to advocate for protecting children. But the two sides differ on what that looks like.
I have kids who need support, and it changes their lives when you give them this kind of gender-affirming care, and it saves lives.
To allow them to make a decision that will affect not only the entire course of the development physically, psychologically, and reproductively is completely ridiculous.
The justices had to consider a Tennessee law that bans puberty blockers and hormone therapy for kids who want to transition. The Biden administration argued the law is discriminatory, but the Supreme Court ultimately ruled it's constitutional.
We think that the court just got it absolutely wrong, and as a material matter, it's devastating for the people who are most affected.
Writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts says the law does not prohibit conduct for one sex that it permits for the other. Under SB 1, no minor may be administered puberty blockers or hormones to treat gender dysphoria, gender identity disorder, or gender incongruence. All three liberal justices oppose the ruling.
This Supreme Court seems to have forgotten that one of their jobs is to protect individual rights and protect individuals from being discriminated against. It's an awful decision.
More than 24 states have some type of ban on transgender treatments for minors. This ruling allows those laws to remain in effect. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Senate Republicans hold their first public hearing over Joe Biden's health. They want to know if there was a health care cover-up toward the end of his term. Senators hauled in former Trump press secretary Sean Spicer to talk about how White House aides monitor a president's fitness and discussed what it would take to deploy the 25th Amendment in case the president is not up to the job. Many Democrats boycotted the meeting, but some stayed and fired back.
His wife, his chief of staff, none of these people were elected by the American people. So far this year, the Republican majority in this committee has not held a single oversight hearing, despite numerous critical challenges facing the nation.
House Republicans will take up the issue again next week. Several former Biden aides have already agreed to testify. A consumer alert tonight. Honda's recalling more than 250,000 vehicles over an issue with the brakes. They could get stuck out of place. This impacts certain Honda Pilots from 2023 to 2025, as well as some Acura models. Honda dealers will inspect the vehicles and replace the brake pedal if necessary. Owners can expect a letter in the mail next month. Streaming is now more popular than old school television. That's according to Nielsen data. Streaming accounted for 44.8% of viewership in May. Netflix came in at #1 for the 4th year in a row. Other platforms like YouTube, Hulu, and Amazon Prime are also seeing growth.
We check in on Chase Field. We had some big-time baseball players in downtown Phoenix, right? No? It wasn't the Arizona Diamondbacks, but maybe some D-backs in the future. We'll explain coming up after the break.
Fox 10 News is back.
Big sports news out of Los Angeles tonight. The Lakers are being sold. The Buss family is selling a majority stake to Mark Welter, CEO of TWG Global. He was already part of the group that bought a 27% stake a few years back. The sale values the team at $10 billion with a B. Compare that to the $6 billion for the Boston Celtics earlier this year. The Buss family has owned the Lakers since 1979.
Yeah, when Magic Johnson got to the league. Very nice. Yes, exciting times for future baseball stars. We have the MLB Draft Combine right here in downtown Phoenix. A great opportunity for high school and college kids looking to catch an MLB scout's eye, right? And it's also a great opportunity for the little leaguers that were asked to shag the balls on the outfield.
It's been really fun looking at the MLB field, watching all the players play and get drafted, hopefully.
The MLB Combine isn't just for draft hopefuls. It's for making lasting memories with your best friends.
So I coach at the local high school, Corona del Sol, and both of our head coach and one of our assistant coaches, they do a lot of things with USA Baseball. And they need shaggers to be able to, you don't want the MLB prospect guys shagging their own baseball. So, they asked for some smaller guys, some younger guys, and, my son happens to be one of them, and this is 5, 6, 7 of them that play on the same club team, same little league team.
This week is about rising stars in Major League Baseball with the draft, and while the kiddos shagging balls in the outfield are a little ways off from participating in the Combine, these few days show them the bar that they need to reach if they want to be in the show someday.
The most important thing is these guys are out here shagging, but at the same time, I talked to them before. You guys got to see how big they are. You got to see how strong they are. You got to get in there and lift. And so I think it's valuable that they can see just that's the level they got to get to.
It's kind of my dream, I guess. I want to be there one day and play on these fields.
They're walking in the footsteps of their favorite players.
I feel just like them, maybe. I feel like a professional athlete.
And realizing the bright lights of the show are a little different than they appear on TV.
It's so much different. It's so hard to cover all this ground on the outfield. The outfield is so much bigger than I thought.
Probably like the best summer camp in the Valley, right? You get to wake up at 8 in the morning, go stand in the Major League outfield, catch the baseball, air conditioning. It doesn't get better than this, right?
It doesn't, yeah. We could be outside with 115, or we can be inside catching balls from potential MLBers. So, they've had a lot of fun.
Robbie Baker, Fox 10 Sports.
That's some good stuff. We need to save this video and save the video of those kids, because who knows, one day they'll be back on that field at the MLB Draft Combine themselves. So it's going to be pretty cool to see these kids' journey.
Good stuff, Richard. Thank you. Next in the Big Finish, why a baby llama is now a mascot for a police station. Stay with us.
Fox 10 News is always on at fox10phoenix.com. Sponsored by Arizona Travel ID. You can't take off without it. Get your AZ Travel ID now.
Yeah. All right. Time for the Big Finish. A police station in Chile has a new furry resident. Check him out. Miguelito, an orphan baby llama, found at the police station.
Oh, look at this guy.
Look at that little cute guy.
He's just chilling.
His mother died at birth, so they adopted him. It happened to be right there by the police station. Now he's 3 months old and a regular fixture around there, even getting bottle feedings, as you see.
Well, Employee of the Month. Speaking of team players, check this out. A dog comes face to face with a bear that broke into his home. Yeah. Oh, no. It happened last week in Los Angeles County. Doodle. Oh. Yeah, he came nose to nose with the bear. Look at what's going on here. Wow. Yeah, the bear swats once at Doodle, then tries to sniff him. Doodle isn't having any of it. Decides to make a run for it after a while. He's like, well, this guy's a little bit bigger than me.
I don't blame him.
That's a business decision right there. The bear roamed around the house for a little while before leaving. Yeah, this bear is suspected of breaking into another home, ransacking the freezer, of course, and going for a swim in the pool. Yeah,
I'm impressed for just that little standoff.
Doodle's tough, man.
Doodle gave it a good try there, but he's like, nah, I don't think so.
He looks hungry.
Remember Capri Sun, how fun they used to be with the little straw? Capri Sun's looking to quench your thirst big time with its longest drink ever. They released it to celebrate the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, with a limited edition 20-ounce, 15-inch pouch.
Is that like a tall boy for
I think for kids? For kids. Yeah, way to take it down into the gutter, Richard.
Well, so this looks like,
this is a supersized empty pouch, but it comes with, I guess, 64 ounces.
Wow.
Ounces of the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's $1.50, and they're going quickly. So there you go.
That's funny.
That's a big one.
That brings you back, right?
That's a good point, though, too, because I do remember my Capri Suns being gone pretty fast.
A couple gulps,
and you're
done. And then all of a sudden you're back to the water hose, and you gotta let it run for a little while to get cold.
Get cold.
Are we just showing our age here? The good old days.